especially now as we jump into our man cave discussion. And man, I'm so excited to finally have this guest here on set. His name is Robert Burale, and we also always just associate. How will we call you? We'll call you what? Your pastor, your relationship coach. You're
I'm an author.
You're an author.
I'm an actor.
You're an actor. You're a dad.
Yes, absolutely.
You're just an all-round. Can we call you a
me,
men's advocate?
Just call me the coach.
The coach.
Yeah,
Oh, I like it.
That is okay.
All right, let's call him the coach.
Yes.
All right, Karibu sana.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you for your time. And today, this is our man cave segment, and we want to talk about this question because there seem to be a lot of women out there who feel that, Maze, I don't know where these good men are.
Right.
A lot of them maybe have been hurt before or have witnessed their moms or their sisters, their aunties, someone in their life has been hurt somewhere.
Yes.
And it has led to them to almost make this general conclusion that most men are like that. When you hear that statement as a man, like, how does that make you feel?
Quite unfortunate. Makes me feel bad because the moment somebody paints all the men with one brush, even when you see or when you get to meet a good man, because of what you have in your mind, you'll automatically start looking for the bad things.
Absolutely.
Then you miss on the good.
Yeah.
Now, the good could be 10, the bad could be 3.
Yeah.
But because of your mindset, the 3 looks like 30. So then you end up missing out. But that is not to say that there's some men who have not let other people down. We as men sometimes have been absentee fathers. Some people have grown up seeing men physically abuse their wives, so then you feel like this is a man thing, you understand, especially when you grow up seeing your mother being physically abused or verbally abused by your father, and that is inculcated in you from a young age, and then it becomes part of your psyche, and then to get that out is almost impossible. And then how nature is, you end up meeting the people who are like that father who used to beat your mother kind of thing. So I think as men, then we need just to have an introspection, have a self-surgery, and just accept where we have gone wrong and start healing the wounds.
Yeah, and I want us to touch on that introspection in just a bit, because I think part of being able to properly introspect ourselves and evaluate is that you have a measure, you have a standard against which you're measuring. And so I want us to dive into, you know, what is a good man, in your opinion, as a man? I want us to get to that. But before then, you've mentioned about absentee fathers. We've also seen a lot of violence against women in recent times. And again, for you, is this more of how a man is raised, or is it just, there's also a lot of societal pressure? Societal
pressure plays a major role. A man has a family battle, personal battle, societal battle. And what has happened is we are supposed to be perfect. And the pressure to be perfect is what is actually hurting us. You know, even as a young kid, if you fall as a boy, you're told not to cry. If a girl falls, you're told, oh, come, and then they sort you out. So we have grown up believing that we need to sort ourselves out. Even when you are dying, we can't cry. We can't show it. And that's why, and I don't condone this, I'm not justifying this in any way. That's why you see some men reacting, either committing suicide, collapsing in the traffic because of pressure, or somebody just becoming violent to his wife. It's not because that woman is bad. It's because of the pent-up issues that I've been carrying. And the society does not allow men to vent, because if you release your pain, then you're a weak person. And for me, I want to tell the men who are watching, the strongest man is the one who can be vulnerable, because that makes you release. You know, it's like a pressure cooker. You got to release the lid for the pressure to come out. But us, we're just putting on the lid.
And that's
so society,
so different from what men are conditioned to do.
And for a lady, all you need to do is sit next to a lady in the salon. As long as you have the same weave, you'll talk about it. So by the time you're leaving the salon, you're lighter. You understand? But for men, we don't. Because if I tell you,
shared is a burden half solved.
Exactly. For me, I look at some of my friends and I'm like, if I tell them this, will they still respect me?
So it's not that the pressure is just coming from women.
No, not at all.
The men themselves are giving themselves
Actually,
pressure.
let me tell you, I come from a different school of thought. I don't think it's the women giving the men pressure. It's men giving each other pressure.
Wow.
If I tell him, this is my struggle, will he still respect me? I need to be respected, you know. Today when I got here, I was in the car and I was talking to a gentleman who has been going through hell. And I asked him, what do you mean? For how long have you been going through? He said, 7 years.
What?
So for him to talk to me today, he was at the end.
It's at the end.
Totally. And had he not talked, that's a proper candidate for suicide, or somebody who will just
7
blow up.
years?
Yes, 7. And I'm like, how have you been surviving? He says, just by the grace of God. Have you told your wife? How do I tell my wife? She sees me as a Superman. She sees me as the hero. If I tell her, will she respect me? Now she will start looking at other men as macho men and me as a useless man. You see, those are the things we battle, and that's the honest truth.
Despite this external exterior of more testosterone, muscles, blah, 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 men are very insecure.
Let me tell you, some of these things we do in public are just to cover up. It's easy to be a public success but a private failure. You know, we want to appear that we are the lion, but the truth of the matter, sometimes we're dealing with things. Men are walking with death certificates in their pocket.
Wow.
We're just waiting, okay, well, is my date here, or can it come in? I want it sooner.
Yeah.
You understand? Because of those kind of pressures.
Yeah.
And I say to this gentleman today, and he's watching, I know, if only you talk to your wife, you'd realize how strong these women can be.
Yeah.
And she may even give you the solution.
Yeah.
So why are you struggling alone?
And I think a good wife would want her husband to feel safe.
Yes,
like, with
yes.
her.
But sadly, Madam Joyce, is some ladies have taken advantage and used a man's vulnerability against him.
I hear you.
Now, when you use a man's vulnerability against him later, maybe if you have an argument, you have killed that man. He will not talk to you again. He will talk to the wrong woman. Sometimes we say men don't talk. But guess
They're
what?
talking to somebody.
They talk to some women out there. In fact, the biggest custodian of secrets for men are women, but sometimes the wrong women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
Yes.
Ouch. Because
That is the
I mean,
truth.
that makes you think. I mean, if you're a lady and you have a man in your life, like, if he's not talking to you, I guess there's a self-assessment there too that
talking to
needs to be
somebody.
done. Like, you know, did I do something, and who is he talking to?
Allow your men to be vulnerable. But
Yeah.
also men, sort yourselves out.
Yeah.
Don't go and tell the doctor you have a headache and yet it's a stomachache. They'll give you the wrong medication.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, now then, back to this introspection that
Right.
needs to be done. How do you, as a man, define a good man? Because again, you're saying there's this family pressure. Maybe your dad, you know, people's dads weren't the greatest, or they didn't, you know, they weren't really there like for them as young boys.
Right.
They weren't teaching them how to become men. They were just sort of expecting them or demanding them to.
Right.
And then there's relationships, there's women, there's, you know, pressure to be wealthy and to drive a fancy car.
Yes.
How do you define a good man as a man yourself?
Funny that you say about this wealth and cars and all that. That sadly is what the modern man thinks success is. Success is a man, or a good man is a man who knows his purpose. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. When you know your purpose, it means you'll be in the right direction, and you will do things with your purpose in mind. All right? Now, I'm not saying a perfect man, I'm saying a good man. A good man is one who understands his weaknesses and strengths in line with his purpose. Very, very key. Number one is, who are you and what is your garden?
Yeah.
And then that means everything you do is along that. Look at a lady who is expectant. Everything she does, where she goes, is the baby okay?
Yeah.
Even when she's eating those stones, it's crazy out there, but it's okay for the baby. So your purpose takes you where you're supposed to be. A weakness comes, but you move this side. When you get these friends who tell you, let's go to a club, let's go sleep around, let's go take shisha, you're like, no, my purpose. So the problem is, society thinks a good man is a perfect man. No, a good man is one man who understands his purpose, moves towards his direction in spite of his weaknesses and strengths.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think there are enough good men?
Absolutely. And a good man could be a bad man trying to get better.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
As long as there's upward mobility.
Yeah.
As long as you see somebody is trying. You understand? And as men, I want to urge all the men, don't try and be perfect.
And that's the thing. I think we need to even move away from that word, because we will never attain it.
Absolutely
there will never be a
not.
perfect
Absolutely
man. Same
not.
way there will never be a perfect woman.
Absolutely.
There will never be a perfect child. There will never be a perfect leader.
Yes, yes.
There'll never be perfection in any
But we
regard.
need to understand that within ourselves. The day I got delivered myself, let me tell you, Madam Joyce, at some point in my life, I tried to be perfect.
Really?
I tried to cut out, like, have everything sorted. And anybody comes with a problem, I will sort you out. Even when I didn't have the money if somebody came. So it forced me to borrow, to try and please somebody else. It was taking me down.
Because you have to look like that
Yes,
guy.
it was taking me down. You understand? I see men driving big cars and you know they can't afford it.
We hear.
You understand?
Because we marry them and then we hear, oh, we're in debt.
Exactly. you understand? I got delivered because this thing took me into, oh my goodness, I was walking to my mortuary.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? I'm tired.
How did you get delivered?
I just looked at myself in the mirror and I had a conversation with the man in the mirror. And I said, listen, you're trying to kill yourself for people who don't care about you. If you die today, the moment your body has been interred, as people are walking away from your gravesite, they have moved to something else. We'll start talking about other people. So don't die for anybody, you know. And I said, listen, I'm going to accept my strengths and my weaknesses, work on my weaknesses as I amplify my strengths.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, guys. This is our Man Cave discussion and we're here with Robert Burale, the coach. And we're talking about, you know, good men. Have we given up on them? Are they good men? What is a good man? And I want to invite you guys to continue sending in your questions. I see a lot of you already contributing in. Maxwell locked in, saying you're locked in for the discussion on this topic. Someone here already posing a question. I'm going to try and get to it after the break. We're going to be back with Robert Burale when we come back. And of course, he has a men's conference that's coming up. We're going to be hearing a bit about that. But also, I want to talk to him a bit about relationships because, Maze, these two genders are always at loggerheads in one form or another.
Yes.
And we want to hear from the coach himself today how to go about this. 22999 is the SMS line. And also on Facebook at Switch TV Kenya. I'll be back after this.